So, good evening guys, girls and SPW. Welcome to OTL Season 3 Round 4 Baku, our typical Monday nights. It's myself, Chris, and Jensen will be along with us, just the same as last week, a little later in the qualifying session. I hope you are all doing very well this evening. So we're a little later, not in terms of time, but I'm a bit later actually getting myself set. Mataman being our first driver on track. I'll just make sure everything is set. Let's get tyres on, and we'll try and get the best coverage as possible. So while Mataman, let me just adjust actually some audio. It's a bit loud in my ears. So a quick recap of last weekend. Of course, we did back-to-back street circuits tonight. Or back-to-back street circuits from last week to this week. Monaco, our first winner in his own league. Dixie took his first win at Monaco. A race of many incidents. Mike showed some struggling form, but I think that's just Monaco. Monaco, you're either going to have a solid race, or once you start to clip the walls, it all kind of crumbles out of control as of that point. And quite a different podium, so championship changed up a little bit. I think Adam got himself from 16 in the title all the way up into the top 6. Mike still leads the championship, followed closely by Jamie Wright, who is definitely a man to watch this evening. Somewhere definitely well within that top 100 in the time trial leaderboard, so he's got some serious pace under him in the car. Of course, hooking up that fast lap sometimes is not always easy. Matoman invalidates his first run, but going a little wide on the exit of turn 1. So we'll go to find, I think it's going to be SPW in his medium tyre, or next man to do a fast one. So we will watch him as he comes down the longest straight of the season in the calendar. I think your throttle is absolutely wide open for about 15 seconds. It just tends not to be the case. As he smashes the brake just at the curb, 100 metre above turn 1, picks up the throttle nice. Obviously the medium tyres, so be a bit more cautious as he brings up the throttle. As we see somebody there, Jay Entek's kind of way down the escape road, and that's unsighted SPW a bit. He's went a bit deep in the brakes into 2, and he's hit the wall. Fortunately, by the looks of that, no damage there. So sorry about that, I just had to deal with a little thing. So SPW is still in a valid lap. Tricky corner in the circuit. So evening all, Mike, ENTXG. Dixie needs to learn to stop writing in chat as the actual page and start writing in chat as his own YouTube channel. But there you go. Good evening, Mikey. It's a pleasure. So SPW, I think, is going to be our first man to bank a lap, as well as getting a nice, lovely pull down the main straight here from Mike. And SPW slots in P1 and a 39.7 so far. So who is our next man? I think it could be Chris Stamps, maybe. No, it's not, so it's going to be JS. Yes, it is Jay Smith, I know, an old friend, but not seen the name in a long time. Yes, you do, Adam, because it messes me up. So JS slots in a 41.9. He's got very little time in the game this year though, so he is really just finding his feet, not using any ERS either. I think he's just trying to get some laps on the board. Pedro must have invalidated his first run. The driver's shown a bit of pace and time trial a little earlier in the session, or earlier this evening. I'm saying in the session, talking absolute dog's bollocks. Mitch slots in at a 57.8 in P3. So we've got a couple of cars now. Kristaps slots into P2, 39.9 on his soft compound tyre. I think we get Fingers coming round the last corner. Yes, we do get on board. Oh, it's an invalidated lap, so he may be going for a second run. Mike gets out the last corner nicely. Purple sector's up. And he's going to be pretty close to a Red Bull here. I don't think he's going to be quite close enough there to get any slipstream effect. We'll see where Mike goes in his medium compound tyre. I think he is going to put himself into P1, probably somewhere here in the 38s. And he does a 38.3, low side 38, so solid first lap there from Mike. 1.4 second advantage to SPW in the same compound of tyre. So Pedro coming through the last couple of corners as well. They're hardly even corners in this track as well. I think he's going to be our next man to get a time on the board. Much better, Adam, you lovely, lovely man. You've even got a big fat A next to your name, A for Adam. So where is Pedro going to slot himself? Pedro goes into P2 on a 39.6 on his soft compound tyre and completely misses the braking zone for turn 1, has to use the escape road. He just Lewis Hamiltoned it. Must have had that magic button on. Fingers, I think, is our next lead man. We have a Ferrari, but he's on an outlap, just going to, oh no, it's a Ferrari coming in. So I don't think we've got, oh, Kristaps actually improved, so Kristaps on his second run in his soft compound tyre gets himself up to P3 on a 39.5. Jamie Enright though on the mediums, 38.2, 10th and a half advantage to Mike. This is what I said, he's going to be a driver to watch tonight. He has some serious pace under his car. Let's get back on board to Green Fingers. See, barrels to the line. He's going to be somewhere in the 40s, I think. Here he does. He goes up to P6 on a 40.4. And we've had somebody else slot in there. Who was that? Merco in the other Red Bull gets himself up into P3 in a 38.4. A driver that showed good pace last week. Yeah. Maybe big opportunities left him, but I think we'll see more of him tonight. That's F. Lewis, I think, just opening a lap. No, it's Mike getting into the pits. So we have the Ferrari GNTX, he's just opening a lap as well. Where is Nick? We have Nick actually on a lap, just coming up to the last sector. Tricky's gone on the track. Do not touch the wheel, he's very aggressive in throttle there. That was a beautiful exit. Just touch, you can get away with touching the curb, be very careful on the exit curb there. If you too much throttle on when you go over that curb, it's just wants to spit the car into the wall. Nice and easy flat through the chicane. Keep the car nice and tight and then as straight as you possibly dare now, although Nick seems to be coming into the pits. No, he's just taking that straight road, he wants to stay tight to the line. And he's going to bank himself. Nick does a 38.2, absolutely on the button. And now goes on to pole in the medium compound tyre by 1/100th of a second. Good lap there from Nick. So the grid's looking different, for sure. So let's go on board with GNTX, he's our next lead man. Just in the tail end of sector 2. Up to, as I said, probably the second hardest corner apart from Castle. You want to be careful on the exit. You've got to pick up the throttle nice and launch yourself down the hill. And smash the brakes about 80 metres. Pick your apex nicely. Use the curb on the exit to keep the car settled. Don't go over the curb. Just rest on it to again get a very good exit. It's a track where exits are going to pay dividends because you get such a long straight after the exit of the corner. If you're slow by half a tenth on exit, it's going to cost you 2/10 by the end of the straight. And GNTech slots up to P5 and his medium compound on a 39.2. So Nick leads the way, Jamie P2, Mike P3, Merco 4, GNTX 5, Kristaps P6, Pedro 7, SPW 8, Mr. Rage slots into P3 now on a 38.3, so it's Rage 3, Mike 4, Merco 5, NTech 6, Kristaps 7, Pedro 8, SPW 9, Fingers 10, Connor 11, J Smith 12, Mitch P13, Skarma, Joshua, Mataman, F Lewis, Dixie, Mike 8 and Rob all still to bank times, but I think we're going to get some times coming in now thick and fast. think Dixie, these guys may be invalidated or they're just actually starting their runs. Mikey on one. Yes, he is. So where is Mikey going to go? Somewhere in the 39s for Mikey. He's going to go P9, 39.5. So where is Ulskarma? Didn't think he could make it tonight, but here he is. And if memory serves me well, Skarma, a track the likes of maybe some of the people that we see having a rougher ride this season, Skarma, Pedro, this tends to be a track where these guys go a bit better. I think we could see a very interesting grid this evening, as I think SPW improved there to a 38.7 and get himself up inside the top 8. Skarma looking nice and neat so far in the medium compound. And we have almost a straight split as well. It's interesting to see the tyre strats. A lot of guys really committed to the medium compound, so maybe not wanting to use the soft. And it's a track, the compounded tyre is going to gain you all your times in the corner, and when it's just a big braking zone, a 90-degree corner and throttle on, it's going to be a lot easier to stay in the pocket of a softer compound tyre if you are on the stiffer tyre. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the medium guys choose to stay. As Skarma barrels to the line, I think he's going to be another driver in the 39s. He goes low side 39.3 and gets himself up to P11 on his medium compound tyre. So Skarma looks good for a top 5 on the soft compound if he gets the good lap. So bear with me please guys, I just need 1 minute. I'm going to go on board with one driver. Mike on an outlap, so he's on an outlap, and I will be back in 1 minute. So I'm back, chat. We've had some changes. Connor Kidd has got himself up to P3 in the softs, 38.2, but Rob Wills in P1 on a 38 flat. So of course we've got some guys here, Jamie Wright, Mr. Rage, Mike, all in the medium compound tyres, so they probably go in the softs and improve quite massively. Merkel going for another run in the medium, so he looks committed. Careful on the pick up there, he just struggled a bit trying to get the nose of the car to fall into the corner, but it wasn't quite there. Oh, and Dixie's got a puncture. How has he picked up that? He's doing his best to stay out the way of everybody. It's a bit interesting to see how Dixie picks up that. So just a wait, I was going to say this at the start of the stream, but I wanted to stay later as we flick through the drivers. Take note on every driver's helmet, and not the Rood helmet, the helmet that they're wearing on their head in the car. There's a subtle tone of blue through every driver's car, and I see here Merkel maybe getting a bit of traffic, they're not in the place to get it. Yeah, so there's blue across most people's helmet as we flick through and look at the guys on track. Apart from the guys that have done no helmet design changes because they're weird. But Chris Stapp's there with a flash of blue through the middle. F. Lewis blue, Merkel blue. Mike gone for a lighter blue, but it's in there. That's in a memory of Mitch's late grandfather. Passed away sadly this week, and Mitch has been a part of the family for a long time. I just wanted to wait, I wasn't going to mention it, as Mike goes to P2 now, 38 flat in his medium compound tyre, and I think that'll be him over, but yeah, I did not want to mention it too early. I wanted to wait till there was some eyes on the stream. I think Mitch is owed more than just getting a little second at the starter stream and nobody's really watching or listening, so that's why I wanted to wait. So the blue helmets are for Mitch's grandfather. But the question is Mitch wearing one? Dun dun dun. So Green Fingers does improve. It goes down to a 39.8. But stays in P16. Look at the amount of drivers in the 38s as well. Top 10 split by 7/10 of a second. So OTL is starting to get very, very, very compressed. Mr. Rage had enough. He lost the car. Don't think he's crashed. Oh, I think he might have. I'm not sure exactly what's happened there, to be honest. F. Lewis, 38.7 was that? No, I think he's actually just opening a lap. So we've got Mike, he's on an in lap, we know that. So let's see who's up front. Jamie Enright's on and out. We've got an Alfa and a Ferrari, who could that be? That's Mike on his in, Ferrari. Jay Entek's on a hot one, invalidated, so he is not going to bank a lap this time round. I think Greenfingers is one of our lead men at the moment on the hot lap as he clips the barrier there as he rounds the second to last corner. Maybe not costing too much time though. Gets all over the curb on the exit, picks up the throttle nice though. But look, he's very, very out of ERS, so he's probably not going to gain now. 6%, you're going to lose all your time as you barrel down the main straight towards the line. 5 place grid penalty for Jay Smith with a severe collision with Mike. I don't know what's happened there. Is that one of the 5 place grid penalties for like the smallest of touches? It's not been one of them, is it? So Nick looking very, very nippy. I think we have some other drivers on lap though, so let's see, because these are going to be our last. And F. Lewis has went on pole as it stands on a 38 flat and has soft compound tyre. We've got Rob Wells followed by P2. We've got another couple of drivers coming down the line, I think. Not even sure. SPW being one of them, so where does SPW get his lap time? Can he launch himself inside the top 10? Yes he can, he goes P7 on a 38.2. We've got Red Bull coming behind, but I think they must have invalidated the lap. We now have Nick coming down the straight, he's 2.5 tenths up. How much time has he got? 2.5 tenths is going to give him pole, but he comes out it. So Nick wants his medium start. Let's see, Jamie Enright's out of his lap as well. He's staying well out the way of Mikey. Mikey is on a lap. Mikey 4 tenths up as well, so Mikey could... Oh, I don't know if he's got a choice here. Does he want P10 or P9 or P11? It's tough, Mikey, but if you want P11, I'd back out that lap because you've got it if you want it. And it looks like he's going to bank it, so... Oh, and he does. Oh, and he's went into P10 by 1/100th of a second and he's blew it. He had to get off the throttle too quick, a bit earlier than he did. And who else is on a lap? We've got Fingers, but he's way, way down. Josh O'Call, he's 3.5 tenths up. So I think he's going to be our last man to bank a time. Rob Wills. Oh, Rob Wills is actually on one and he's 3 tenths up. Rob Wills looks like he's going to smash the 37s. Rob Wills, is he about to take his first pole position in his OTL career? Is it here? To the line he comes, and he does. It's a 37.6 for Rob Wills and onto pole position. F. Lewis doesn't have another lap in his session. Josh O'Call is going to improve, but I don't think he's got enough in the tank to go for pole, and he doesn't. He just improves to a 41 flat, and there it is. Rob Wills takes his first pole of the season. F. Lewis in P2, Mike P3, URL Nick 4, Connor Kidd 5, Jamie 6, SPW 7, Mr. Rage 8, Matoman 9, Mikey 10, Merco 11, Pedro 12, GNTX 13, Skarma 14, Kristaps 15, Finger 16, Dixie 17, GS 18, Joshua 19 and Mitch in P20. Yes, Jensen, welcome. You joined us just as Rob Wills gets himself on pole position for the Baku GP.
Yeah, that surprised me.
So we've got Mike, Nick and Jamie. These guys are all in the medium compound tyre. Rob Wills, F. Lewis and Connor all in the softs, so I think we're set for a bit of a fight.
Sorry mate, I'm just a bit drained.
Not how did the race go?
P1 mate.
Oh, we win, let's go!
Yeah.
Let's go! Good stuff, well done.
Yeah, cheers. Just have to wait for the lobby to like finish. Oh, the game's just crashed.
So, Rob Wells takes pole.
That's
Takes us, and
unrealistic.
Mike has got the 5th place grid penalty. It was Mike that got the penalty.
Do you know what happened there between Mike and whoever may have caused that? But
Oh, so there's some guys saying there's a chance of rain. That's interesting. So, Mike has that contact with JS. I don't think JS got a grid penalty either. No, he didn't. So it was just. Oh no, they did. They both did. So it'll be interesting to see when somebody hits somebody in the back. It's usually just one driver, but Jay Smith has hit the back. See, it looked that way, but it's strange, Mike, because that happened before, and only the driver that hit in the rear has been given the penalty. So that's maybe something you want to report, and maybe some, I don't know, some compensation points for your start position loss. Or I think something can definitely be done there, because I've seen it happen before, and you shouldn't have been penalised. I've seen the game not penalise the front driver.
is it like it penalises the driver who is the victim of that?
Yeah, but it's penalised Mike for being hit, which is not right. So, of course, we'll get that sorted. Of course, I know it doesn't help you right now, Mike, because you obviously start 5 positions lower. But elbows out. Let's go racing.
Yeah.
Nothing can go as bad as last week. So, sorry, on you go, Jensen.
At least I didn't take a car as I joined this week.
Yes, no cars to
This is
take.
good.
We're full.
Yeah. Yeah, that's brilliant. Let's see.
Jay
But
Smith
probably
making a
expect more
welcome
time,
return as well.
This is gonna surprise me. This grid, Rob Wills on pole. That is
Yeah, the grid is an interesting
crazy.
one. Look at
Mike
Dixie away
in
down.
P8.
Yeah, he was P3, but
On the mediums.
takes a 5-place grid penalty for that contact.
Euro Nick on the mediums as well, P3.
Yeah, done a
Pretty good
38
qualifying from
flat
him,
on the medium as well, so it was
It's a really good
a
lap
belting
from
lap.
Nick there. I see him a good chance of taking the win, but I think these soft runners, it's going to be interesting. Chris, safety cars are always going to happen at Baku. This a Baku race without a safety car, honestly, I don't know what's what anymore, but I mean, see what happens. Mediums play out,
I
but
see Rob Wills is not messing around. He's really trying to put the gap in, so these guys are going to have to go at his pace. Even if he wants to go hard, they need to go. Need to keep the gaps down, because obviously it's a thing being watched this season in OTL. 10 car lengths is your limit, and if you're building gaps that's much bigger than that and holding the distance, you will be reported and penalised. So make sure you stay nice and close, guys. If you're watching, of course. You are at the mercy of the pace of the leader. So, it's a track of staying calm. A very, very hard track to do side-by-side racing, especially around corners. So it takes a lot of willingness from both drivers. If you're going to make an overtaking move, somebody has to be willing to give you space. Because if they even pinch that space by an inch, somebody's going to end up with damage.
yeah,
So-
it's a very tricky one. This one.
So the
I
gap
don't-
there, Jensen, I think that's something that's going to need to be looked at. That gap is it's rather big there for
Oh,
me,
yeah.
and it's pretty much stayed that way. So yeah, and
That's-
especially as a reserve, that's a big no-no. You should not be coming in and trying to tactise your race by jeopardising others' entrances.
I wouldn't
so
say the gap was too big. I get what you mean though. You should really be right with the other
Yeah.
cars. You shouldn't be, because that's their tyre temperatures going down whilst on the grid as well.
the good thing is this year, I don't think they do that. Cormac says, yup, Connor. Yes, Connor's got a great qualifying position this week, Cormac, and hopefully we'll see him do some good. Who's lights out? Would it be Jensen?
I think you did last week.
So it is yours. I'll put it on position change, and I will
Guess so.
leave it to you, sir. I will watch the bet.
Here we go. We got 5 likes. Is gonna just come out on now to see what's gonna happen. A very delayed start, but we're off the way, and it's a great start from F. Lewis. F. Lewis gets the lead into turn 1. Let's see how they take into turn 1. They're gonna keep it clean, side by side. Doesn't look like anything too bad, but F. Lewis getting the jump on Rob Wills off the grid. Euro Nick dropping a bit, and it's spinning. It's Mike. Mike spun out in turn 2. There's a spinning out for Romeo. He's right at the back now. He's gonna have to do a massive job.
Yeah, because he's really struggling to get the car round, Jensen, as well, because he does not want to put the front wing on the wall. He's trying to keep the damage down.
Absolutely no space to turn around there. That is a shame for Mike, but he should be able to come back into this race, hopefully, the championship leader. And you're seeing moves going on in the midfield there. Mirko gets past SPW, Chris, and Mikey getting over the back end of JNTEX into turn 7, but in the end, Chris, I don't think there's been any damage so far this first lap.
No.
Unless...
No, I've not seen anything further back as well, Jensen. It was a reasonably good, apart from that incident. I don't know if Mike's been touched or he's just spun the car round, but apart from that, it's an absolute clean get through from all the drivers. With a couple of guys threatening to go side by side there, but not quite this time around. And I see with the update, Codemasters have still not managed to get the timing screens right, because apparently SPW and Chris Stups are a lap down. P3, yeah, we'll give you some viewing time, Cormac, on your man. And we've got somebody round. Who's that? It's URL Nick. URL Rick is round at the fast chicane. He's touched the wall. It's wing off.
Oh god, guys, gotta be careful. Is he just calling it? Oh, that's a very strange one, and that's Mikey. Mikey's also around as well on the straight, Chris.
Oh, he's got puncture! He's got puncture, Jensen. I think he's hit the debris from URL Nick. It's blew out both back left and front left tyre. Completely ruptured his full left side of the car, and that's what's put him in the wall.
Alonso, isn't it? It is an Alonso-esque that the whole side of his car just absolutely ripped apart, and he's a VSC. And I think it'll probably stay as a VSC because there's not a retirement, it's just wing damage it looks like, but yeah, it's very yeah. I honestly expected something to happen in turn 1, Chris, because the other night there was just a massive like 6-car power up in one of my leagues, so I was fearing that, but everyone got through very cleanly. And
yes, and apparently Mike's in the lead now, but I don't think that's very right.
I think it's just,
doing its usual shenanigans.
So I think we're nearing the end of the ESC, hopefully.
Yeah, I think we'll get a green flag.
And there we go, drive through penalty.
Three
guys.
3 drivers.
Mitch, J. Smith and Greenfingers all getting drive through penalties. And it's all shuffling about again. Nick goes through as well. I think Mikey... wait for him, but F. Lewis has got the break he needed, and he's leading this race. Rob Wills not far behind. He's probably wanted to take this back. The DRS will be enabled. I think this lap.
Yeah, so we do do we?
Or next lap then. I think it's next lap.
It was shown up in my thing there, like the bar was charging to give them it, but they'll get it this next time round. So, main straight, will Rob put F. Lewis under attack in the first DRS zone of the day? He is trying to push up, but F. Lewis is, he's starting to use the ERS a bit now though. So I think F. Lewis tried to pull the gap, and it wasn't quite there. They've got a yellow flag.
It's Joshua Cole.
Oh, I thought it was corner, but it's not corner, kid.
And... oh, look, it's SPW and Pedro, they're going wheel to wheel through turn 3, and they've made contact, and they're all going wheel to wheel through this little section to end sector 1, and that's a Mercedes in a spin, and that's J. Smith again.
And SPW, he keeps out of the wall, so his car's looking like it's got damage, but it doesn't appear
J. Smith
to be shown
he's
damage.
Struggling here to get going again, and Oh, it's SPW. Oh, there's been a massive crash in the castle! Oh my god, and that is Kristaps out of the race. That can't be a virtual safety car, that is just right in the way.
So I think this could be our first safety car of the session. This VSC should change on that crash.
Yeah.
It is very much really blocking the racing line, so yes. But the car is just sitting there and it's not changing, and there's other guys going through, so they need to be careful they don't touch that.
Poor Kristaps, so I don't know what happened, but SPW, Skarma were all in that section together with him as well. Well, that happened,
no safety car. That is insane. And Skarma instantly been put under attack by SPW. Here he comes. SPW is going to go down inside, and Skarma looks to be boxing, so he wants off that medium compound tyre
as well. Off the mediums, both of them off the mediums, and I think it's hard tyres for Mirko, and same route for Skarma maybe.
So that is a very early stop. I'm wondering if these guys had picked up damage. And look at our lead, our 7 drivers. There is a mighty train up the front. Yeah. Practically 2 seconds between our top, or 3 seconds between our top 7. So one mistake and you're going to fall off this train very quickly. And if you can stay in the train, you keep yourself in that fighting chance to win the race. Let's see how Mike's getting on now. He seems to have settled into a rhythm, and he is starting now to pull that distance in. Struggling a bit with lockups, but I think that's because he's pushing on.
I think the mediums are starting to enter the stage. If you don't have damage, you're pretty much entering the stage where they're going to overhaul the soft tyres on temperature and wear.
Yeah.
And pull on pace as well, so...
We've got a yellow flag. Oh no, Connor, no! What's happened? No puncture, has he got damage?
Everyone's losing it through that fast chicane. That is incredible.
It's like the car's just letting go, I don't understand.
He's in the pits.
Oh, and SPW does have damage.
He has a bit.
So I think SPW may box to the hards now and just go deep.
Yeah. Yeah, sure
Mike gets the little pull along with the DRS. Connor drops down the orbit.
Mike is gonna love what F. Lewis is doing for him right now. F. Lewis is holding his main rivals on the mediums back as Jamie Embright is getting really close to Rob Wills.
He's starting to get frustrated, isn't he? He's wanting through, he wants through. And as you say, Jensen, the medium tyres starting to come into their own now, and Jamie Enright is showing that. Oh, and I think Mr. Rage there touched the barrier at the back. Mikey setting the fastest lap in the 42 flat in his fresh medium compound tyre.
Yeah. Rob Wills having a bit of a slide through there. He's really holding Jamie back. I think Jamie will get through this next lap.
Yeah, but Rob's going to have DRS as well from F. Lewis, so...
Yeah, and he's got... Oh, he had a big slide out of the corner. Jamie Enright's on the outside. Rob Wills getting as much back on the racing line as possible.
Jamie Enright now will get the run there. And I think that's just going to be hook, line and sinker. Yeah, because Rob Wills is going to have the DRS, but he's just a bit far away for F. Lewis to pick up the
fight him as well. Oh, he is going to fight him actually. Jamie Enright ain't even using any energy. So I think Jamie Enright's just absolutely destroying him on straight line speed.
Oh, and soft guys are in.
I think they're both in the pits. Yep. And
Matoman now sets the fastest lap, so he's really pushing on. So our top 4 is our medium runners. Our soft guys box off, they go to mediums. F. Lewis goes to mediums as well. Pedro in the pits off his medium compound, so that seems another early stop, maybe picked up some damage. And this brings Mike way back into the race. I mean, considering he was right down, he's already back in P8, so Mike's doing bits to bring himself back into contention. Remember, F. Lewis, Rob Wills leading the race. He's now only 3 seconds off these guys.
See, Jamie Embright got held up, and that has not helped him because Mr. Rage is now right there, and Mataman. And Giantex all in the DRS.
And Dixie up
Gonna
12.
get away. Oh,
P17
Tex!
Oh,
It's just hit the wall. I don't think he picked up damage, but
oh, but
he's
he
hit the
went
wall
off
again.
there.
And Barry is now sparking. I don't know why it does it. Here we go. Adam goes through and there's a sparking barrier at Castle.
So I'm
That's
almost
just gonna be more
positive
fun.
JN Tex must have picked up some damage there, but car's looking semi-good. The fast chicane here will know for sure.
I think when spectating you can't really see damage.
Yeah, it's a bit rubbish.
Until you lose a lot of your front wing. That's the
No,
only
he
time you
looks
can
good
see it.
through the fast chicane, no understeer in the car, so he's been
Might
lucky
have just
there.
been a little tap. Yeah. And
Connor, kid recovering
Rob
here
Wills.
after his moment. Where is Rob? Oh, yeah.
So he was on pole, and the man in the front row, he got the advantage. F. Lewis on Rob Wills off the start, but this time I think Rob Wills is going to try and come back. F. Lewis ain't using anything anymore, he's not going to defend this. Reaching the end of the straight, and Rob Wills takes back the net lead of the race as they go into turn 1.
So I think we could see, and this is the nature of Baku, you get the move done into turn 1 and then you can be instantly attacked again in turn 2 as long as the guy that gets overtake gets a good exit. And F. Lewis looks like he's now coming back for a move. As Rob Wills empties the tank, F. Lewis thinks better of it, they'll just backs out it. And probably the safer option. If you're going to send it down into 3, you've got to be very committed, but it usually ends up in a crash. So Mr. Rage leads away on the alternate strategy, as well as Jamie Wright, Mataman Gentex. SPW I think retires in the pit lane. I think he's maybe picked up more damage. OTL and Dixie nearly clips the wall there through Castle. Picks up nice and smoothly, and he has been closed down hard now by Rob Wills and F. Lewis. So if he wants to salvage something in his medium run, oh yeah, he needs to do as much hold up as possible. I didn't as well. Matoman looking a bit punchy as well. GN Texas has fell off. It's kind of hard when you know what it's like, Jensen. Once you fall out that DRS on it, it's very hard to salvage it back.
Is Jamie and Wright gonna be close enough for anything? Not this time. We might just be following the DRS just to build up the energy again, then possibly push away when he gets back through. Mataman's just hanging in there in the DRS. He didn't get DRS that time though, Chris. I think this is the moment where Mataman's going to fall out of the train.
Well, yeah, and you see that time hemorrhage now. He's went from being a second to almost 1.3 just in one straight in the track.
And that DRS is a powerful thing this season, so.
And I see as well, Rob Wills and F. Lewis are getting absolutely sucked into a big battle here. They have both absolutely emptied the tanks in ERS, and it's quite a critical thing at Baku because your ERS is your only defence tool if you want to try and defend. So spending it on unnecessary moments is probably not a good thing to do.
Yeah, and look who's ahead of him now is Adam, OTL Monaco winner, and Gentex, he's in the wall at the Castle, he's reset to the track. I think that's the safest thing to do really at Castle.
Yes.
Because you do not want cars to come, you're facing the other way. So, I think he would get away with that. In the end, I don't even know if there's a reset to track rule in OTL, but I mean,
there is not. But I think it's a thing that we kind of.
Anyway.
It's not frowned upon too much as long as you're not resetting to track and cutting another
driver
driver off.
Jamie Embright's going to go for the lead, Chris. I think it's going to be easy overtake. Not much to say about that. Jamie Embright takes the lead.
Baku's overtakes are boring.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Because the straights are so long, it's just, you're not going to get people like drag racing each other into a race.
Look at this, Rob Wills, F. Lewis and Dixie now, they're going to go 3 abreast into turn 1. What happens here? OTL Dixie's been the guy squeezed on the outside.
Robbo's gone a bit deep.
He went a bit deep, and is OTL Dixie going to think about coming back through? Not quite this time.
F. Lewis got through though, but he ain't going to get DRS. Rob Wills is Rob Wills going to get past F. Lewis again? He's using the energy. Is he going to go for a move up the inside? He's going to brake early and think about that. And Joshua Cole is in the wall, out of Castle. And he's got a bit of end plate damage. And Jay Smith as well, as some of the guys come through.
Give me 1 second, please, Jensen.
And here comes Mr. Rage on Jamie Enright. And the advantage swoops back into Mr. Rage's hands there, and Mataman is back in the DRS, so that goes against what we said earlier. Mataman defined that. He's keeping with the leaders. But F. Lewis though, Rob Wills is a bit too far back now. F. Lewis is now racing on his own, 14 seconds behind the leaders. Keeps the pace up. He may be able to build up enough of an advantage to possibly keep it at the end of the race, I don't know. But these mediums should last to the end of the race, if I'm not mistaken.
So thank you for holding the helm there, Jensen.
Yep.
I just had to make myself a quick beverage. So look at this three-way battle now. Mataman is really closed in. And Mr. Rage, although he's out in front, he seems to be at a big disadvantage with ERS as well, so he's struggling a little. But he's trying to, you see him as he gets through, he's trying to break the DRS, he's trying to push away in unorthodox places of the track, but not an easy thing to do.
Mataman got back into the DRS, so he completely defied what I said earlier, that him being out of the DRS he might be gone, but he's back in, and he's got 50% energy. So Mataman might be a dark horse for this race win. Chris, the rate he's going.
Yes, very much.
Oh, and oh, that was naughty from Jamie M right there. It's a very, very late call into the pits, but he's gone for it, and I think it might be the hard tyre. But he cuts the pit line. I don't know if there's a rule for that, but yeah, cut it very, very late, and anything later may have cut up Mataman, probably, but he's been held a very long time.
Oh,
what's happened to Jamie Enright? Oh no.
No.
Oh, what? Okay, that was just strange as hell.
What the? Okay, yep. So
and
I'm glad that he got out.
Yeah. He comes out 2 seconds behind Rob Wills, by the way, Chris. And Rob Wills 2 seconds behind F. Lewis. F. Lewis and Rob Wills are new medium tyres. I think Jamie Enright's gone the wrong way for strategy here. Those mediums are going to be quicker. And I don't think they're going to reach a point where they're just going to fall off the cliff until the end of the race.
And Rob Wills picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so that could be huge for the deciding outcome of this race.
Yeah.
Dixie's still running a stellar race in that P6, and Mr. Rage hit the wall there. Has he picked up any damage? Mr. Rage hits the wall in the exit of the chicane to go down the main straight.
Maybe a little bit of damage, but we'll see. Oh, he very, very...
Oh, and look how much Mataman gained in the pits. He got right on the back of Mr. Rage here.
Do you think he could pass Jamie Enright here as he goes on the hard tyres? Swift stop for Alpine, and it is damaged, Chris, for Mr. Rage, so he will lose out to position to Mataman. As Jamie Enright goes through, he will overtake Mataman though. Mataman just exiting the pits. But not by much. Not by much. There's a yellow flag, and that's your old Nick. Oh, he's hit the wall twice there. And he gets back going again. Skarma right behind him.
Trying to keep a touch on Mike's timing here. He's right on the back of Mr. Rage. Mr. Rage, of course, out in fresh tyres. So Dixie, as I say, he's the only man out and still the first. I think he's the only man still to box. Let's actually check. Yes, him and Mike. Mike's still not pitting, neither is Mitch. I think these guys trying to hang it out for a safety car here. The mediums do go a good distance. I mean, you can easily stretch them. They're probably going for the medium soft here. So interesting to see. Dixie as well, sitting in that P5. He's still in 60% energy. So he's chilling. Oh, and he's boxing. So the medium to hard, I think the soft tyre's very usable. Oh, and Adam could gain a lot here. That's maybe why he's chose to box, and that's why Mike's went in as well.
Mike, he goes on the hard tyres as well. So it's going to be big as F. Lewis, Rob Wills and Jamie Enright all back up bunched together. Mataman is not far away as well, so we could see a four-way fight for the win here. Rob Wills might just be out of it though with that penalty.
And Josh O'Call gets a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Mr. Rage.
And a speeding under the VSC as well, a drive-through.
How has Josh O'Call got a penalty for a collision with Mr. Rage when ghosting is on and he was a lapped car? That makes no sense. I think Josh O'Call's been hard done by there. Because I don't see how they could make contact if ghosting is on.
Oh, he's in the wall. What? He's just purposely crashed out there. And that's a full safety car. That is.
And Mike gets a drive-through for speeding under VSC.
It's unlucky for Josh Cole there, but depending what it looked like for him there, he looks like he crashed out on purpose, Chris, in the castle. So Mike gets his free stop. Oh no, he pit before, but the yeah, he knows the drive-through. So F. Lewis, he's going to go into the pits. So as Rob Wills, Jamie Enright stays out.
Oh,
so does Mataman.
No, I can see a soft run here to the end here. Nobody get new softs. Yeah. If somebody has a new soft, this is huge.
Mediums.
No soft
Medium tyres for both F. Lewis and Rob Wills. I think that's actually a pretty smart choice there. I think the softs will really struggle.
But I think you're probably not going to be racing here because of the cars till about 16 or 17. So 9 laps. I think the soft would do 9 laps on a lighter car.
Yeah, but
interesting.
You have to consider the end of the race as well. I think they'll really fall off. That's where the hards will come back. Those new mediums, F. Lewis and Rob Wills, they're going to come shooting right through, surely. And F. Lewis has been hard done by a lot in OTL over the last 2 seasons, and he's in a position where he could possibly win this race. So hopefully this could be his day.
And Pedro in a solid P11 as well on the hard compound tyre. I don't know if he boxed all that tyre just there.
Mike's got a drive-through penalty. So does Jay Smith, but Jay Smith's been disqualified. He might have had a spin out of the pit lane. He got a block into the pit lane, so
Eesh.
Must be something. But Mike's got a drive through, that is massive.
So Mike needs to serve the drive-through and then hope for another safety car for the tail end side of the race. Whether he may choose to go racing here and try and get himself up through the field a bit, burn a bit of the energy that he knows he's going to recover back in the pit lane, and maybe try and serve the drive-through at lap 2. But then on the restart you run the risk of another safety car coming out, so maybe getting the drive-through done straight away could be the best idea. Who knows? But we'll probably, I think we'll be racing here lap 17. Thank you everybody that joined us this evening for the race. It's been a reasonably good one so far. A lot of different names up the front of the grid as OTL Dixie boxes off the medium. Now, as he tried to delay this out to get to the soft tyre, and yes, he has, so Adam takes the punt. Adam's got the soft tyres on, so it'll be interesting to see just how much he's got in the tank on the restart. But I think if he can get the jobs done early and keep himself on a train with some of the guys further up, he might just be able to drag that tyre through at the end of the race. And Mike gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Pedro.
This hasn't been going Mike's way and he's just crashed out as well. I think he was done with that.
And that was that for Mike.
Yeah. There's still points on the table as well for Mike. That's going to be costly.
Yes. He'll come back though. He'll come back swinging. I don't think street circuits and Mike and no ABS is a good mix.
Nah, just literally all the sake of Mike well done Baku.
Yeah. His consistency at the open circuits is very good. I struggled to hold pace with him, and I found a ton of pace myself. But in Spain, he drove a solid race, so I think he's just something with street circuits and Mike. They just, yeah. I think from the start as well, with a couple of penalties that came in and out, it was just one of their ones. The drive-through for speeding under the safety cars and the VSCs, I think sometimes are a bit difficult to understand as well. Sometimes you can be in the green, and out of nowhere it just plunges into the red massively. So we're not even going to get safety car in this lap, so it will be lap 17 we go racing. As I thought. Mike, are you coming into the chat to speak? Are you telling us what happened, sir?
Have we got him in?
No, I meant just like in the stream chat. Mike, where are you? I thought he would come and give us a blunder in the chat. Yeah, so I'm trying to find out. I think he maybe get whacked for Pedro, but then Pedro would have got a time penalty, might get the time penalty for Pedro. So the game, I feel like they've induced more bugs this time around than this time. Mike, he was just saying to Jensen there, I think we've came to the consensus that Mike, no ABS and street circuits are just... Although I wouldn't say that the mishap started on your end today. So safety car will go in this lap. Yeah, I feel you, Mike, I feel you. I did feel that, it did look that way. What happened between you and Pedro? I don't understand. That's what I was just saying there. I feel like they've broke the game a bit in this update, because you seem to get the penalties there for being hit both times. Is that right? Mike, am I on the right track still? I'd love to know if that's right.
Oh, Mitch's got a penalty for collision with Nick.
Oh, so Pedro's ran for probably a P, and the AI's just ran into the back of you, and you get the penalty.
We'll get ready, Chris.
So, safety car in this lap. Jamie will take over the pace, and he'll probably check right up. It's a tricky track to get a restart right, because guys are always there to get on you, so got to be ready. And of course, Matoman and Jamie, if they don't have the rear tyres switched on, this is going to be a struggle. Yeah, the speeding under the VSC nonsense, Mike, is, I take it you were in green, and it just dropped to red and handed you the penalty. So Jamie Enright weaving down the main straight. He's waiting to get going, and look at F. Lewis. He is raring to go here. He is absolutely beside Matoman. That's not even behind or waiting, and Jamie Enright's waiting right to the end of the safety car line, but now he goes, and look at F. Lewis. He's got an absolute lightning start. He's going to be side by side with Matoman into turn 1, and he's managed to stay just behind at the line, and that's it. F. Lewis is going to go through in the medium compound tyre. He absolutely nailed that. F. Lewis means business.
Yeah, and Jamie Enright, he's going to try and get as far away as he can from that Alfa Romeo while he can, but that is easier said than done, considering the tyre differences, and Greenfingers may have had a moment and he's lost his front wing. So definitely had a moment.
So Jamie Enright gets out to 1.2, in the clean air we know he has a lot of pace in the car. And I think Jamie Enright possibly saved by a safety car and staying out here.
Yeah, Jamie Enright's getting on with it, isn't he?
Oh, so it was on the change of the safety car. Oh, ouch, man, that is horrific. Rob Wills hunting the back of Mataman. So Jensen said that these medium guys are going to be absolute rockets at the start. Rob Wills will be looking to get through, and Rob Wills, with Mr. Rage having the penalty, Rob Wills just may have the ability to get a podium here. He may still be in contention.
It's, considering the penalty, he could possibly, he just has to get the gap over Mataman, and that will do in it, but...
And he is coming for some now. Mataman, I think, he's just switched on the ERS to defend. How much is he willing to use? And Matoman is down, flashing. He's down at 10% either that, or he was just derating for the end of that lap. He had used too much. He's going to try round the outside. Oh, and he pinched the door. Matoman not left the space there, I feel, Jensen. I don't know how you felt about that, but Matoman tried to stay as inside as he could, and he's hit the wall. He can't go any more inside than having a crash.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate one between them both there. But yeah, I'll point more in the direction of Rob Wills for the fault of that.
Matoman amazingly picked up no damage. I think he hit the wall just with the outside of his tyre. Oh no, he does have damage. I just see it there as he tries to round that the left hander. Yeah, the understeer is huge, so that's going to put Matoman under big pressure. Connor can maybe salvage the top 5 here now. After having a really big incident, Connor, he fell all the way back down to about P13. He was in P3. He's recovered really well. So Jamie Enright checks out, 1.9 ahead. I don't think that hard tyre will.
I don't think he's necessarily checking out.
Well, no.
He is absolutely done for energy, Chris. He's at 0%, pretty much. And F. Lewis, 40%. Didn't use anything really, like that. And however, Jamie Enright is absolutely nothing.
Look at this, Mikey and Merkel. Let's get back with this because 3 abreast. GN-Tex, Mikey and Merkel, the 2 Red Bulls swarming the Ferrari. GN-Tex is going to tuck back in on he goes into the pits now, so I think he picked up some damage. Merkel's going to go through on his teammate. I think Mikey won't fight that too much. Red Bull maybe looking at the bigger picture here in the constructor points. They're going to be the best scoring team on the grid as it stands, maybe outside the Williams boys. But Mikey's looking punchy. He's feeling it. And we know Mikey likes to go for the positions. We're all racers at heart, and I think we all like to try and get the big overtakes done. Look at now Pedro, Dixie, Nick, Skarma having a big battle for that tail end of the top 10 positions. URL Nick now having a look at the inside and Pedro, but Pedro defends round the outside and we're getting a great on-board shot of this, but Pedro's a little moment of the curb and URL Nick's going to get a run on the inside, and I think Pedro's probably going to need to concede here. He tries to take on the outside. He's going to go for the cutback, but Skarma comes through there and oh...
Chris, I'd feast your eyes on the gap at the front. It is come down to 1.4. So, F. Lewis is getting on with it. And he is closing the gap. Using a little bit of energy. More, but he is getting closer and closer. That is basically all he needs to do at the moment.
Rob Wills as well has managed to drag himself into the DRS range of the top two, so Rob Wills and Mr. Rage could just get pulled themselves back into this fight as well, although I think the energy situation, I mean look, Jamie Enright is in dire straits, Jensen. He's at 0% and that's just not going to come back to him now. He's going to be lucky to get that car above 15% energy for the duration of this race.
Yeah, but look at the difference now. F. Lewis has really used a lot and the gap has just shrunk, and now F. Lewis has got less. But he may have less, but he's got to the gap. Rob Wills in that DRS, he's loving life. He just has to stay there for the next 6.5 laps. And he's got a podium in the pocket.
Yes. Which I think he'd been hoping for minimal after taking pole position. I think he could have foreseen that he put himself in a situation to bring it at least a podium home. And Jamie's had a moment. What's going on with Jamie? He's a ghosted car. Look at this. F. Lewis half a second behind. Is Jamie took damage? I think Jamie's had a moment through Castle, so this will be something to watch. We'll see. We'll definitely see the gain through the S's.
It doesn't look like he's got damage from my ends, but he's really struggling. He may have picked up a bit of damage.
Oh yeah, I think he definitely has. So F. Lewis just needs to be careful here. He'll see this.
Look at Rob Wills. Oh, this is going to be massive, Chris, as they all go through the chicane. Look at 4 cars battling for the lead. They're all within half a second of each other here. F. Lewis, he's trying to get a move here. He's up, open the DRS. Jamie Enright's defending.
And look at Mr. Rage! Mr. Rage is coming down the inside. Oh, I thought he was going to try and have a go, and Rob Wills went too deep on the outside, Jensen. He's going to go drop back down to P4. Sorry to jump in there, but Mr. Rage came down the inside like an absolute steam train.
Rob Wills has just hit the back of Mr. Rage, tried going for a move, he just didn't move enough to the left there. And I don't know if he picked up damage or not, but wow, that was a pretty intense one. Now I thought Mr. Rage was going to do like what Ricardo did a couple of years back, down the inside of the 3 cars.
Mr. Rage is looking very,
very
punchy. He's off the track trying to get the move done. He's going to have the inside line. It's good racing there between the two. About wheelbang. Look at Rob Wills now. He's up the inside of Jamie Enright. 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and all is kicking off. Jamie's had to concede the position. Rob Wills now up into P3. Jamie goes from P1 to P4 in half a lap.
Yeah, that damage is huge for him. And look at F. Lewis. He's got away. I think now he could just chill out here. He knows the drivers behind have penalties. Jamie Enright, main rival of this race, has damage. And next cars behind, Connor Kidd and Mikey, which are another 5 seconds or so back.
So let's stay with this P2 battle now, it looks like it. So Jamie now is hanging on, I think. No energy left in the tank as much as Connor got, so Connor can just maybe in this. He's got the top 5. Oh, bar no mistakes, he's got a P5, top 5, at least the top 6 in the bag. As Mr. Rage and Rob Wills now go side by side. Rob Wills up in back to P2 and Mr. Rage back to P3.
Connor Kid's got
Connor
past
Kid
Jamie
is
M right
through.
now. Jamie M right. He's got even more damage now, Chris. He's lost his front right end plate.
No, Jamie. I was driving such a good race. Oh, and he's nearly on the wall. He managed to get the car stopped. Mikey needs to be careful. He's got damage. He's going to be very slow through Castle. Oh, he hits the wall again. And Rob Wills has got another penalty. Jensen, so Connor Kidd, if he's got time in the pocket, he could still be in the shout at the podium here. As Mikey comes on the inside of Jamie Enright, he's just not going to have the place. End plate away. And Merkel now is going to be catching Jamie Enright, and he goes through as well. We just can't carry the pace round the fast corners. And Jamie's going to have to box.
What did Mr. Rage get for a penalty? He got 2 penalties on lap 14. I'll go quickly check them to see if it was speeding or anything else. He crossed the pit line. So
Oh, an exit.
yeah, so I think that penalty might stand then.
Yeah, hook, line and sinker, that one.
So Mikey is still in a chance of a podium as well if he could keep with these guys and get the pace on, but Rob Wills is doing pretty good. Rob Wills almost guaranteed a podium at this point, as long as he keeps it going. F. Lewis, he's got Rob Wills on his tail.
Mr. Rage, he could drop way outside the he could go down to P6 by the end of this race.
Matterman takes the fastest lap of the race, 38.888.
And we're set here for a podium of F. Lewis, Rob Wills and Connor Kidd.
Who expected that?
OTL is definitely exciting this season. Might definitely enter the season as straight favourite, but after the last 2 races, Mike's got some catching up to do in the next run of races. People will have...
Yeah, the last 2 races have been amazing, haven't they? Merker and Ranger running up there in the previous race, and of course Adam winning in Monaco. But now it looks like we have another new winner in OTL.
And Rob Wills is absolutely on F. Lewis. F. Lewis has lost a lot of time, but I think he's maybe just chilling. But if F. Lewis has got damage here, his victory could be under. And Jamie Enright's out! Jamie Enright's out! Safety car!
Oh, what the leader's going to do? F. Lewis stays out. Rob Wills stays out. Mr. Rage stays out. I think that is really important for this race. Connor Kidd, oh, he's going to pick up a guaranteed
Jamie, really unlucky, dude. You were driving a fucking stellar race, mate.
Oh no! Rob Wills is going to lose the podium.
Yep, Mikey and Connor Kidd, Merkel here, all to play for. Skarma, any of the guys could get themselves onto the podium now.
Euro Nick into the pits on the soft tyres.
Pedro Box is going to go for the softs.
On relatively new soft tyres, JNTX is, and he's going to be caught up to the pack. I mean, and Adam on new softs, Pedro on new softs, Mitch going on new softs again. He should really stay up. I think he made.
But the thing is, the safety car will go in this lap. Will they catch the pack? The guys haven't looked at the laps when they've went to box. You need to catch the pack now if you've took that pit stop. I think it's only going to be maybe Fingers and Mitch that loses out. But if you're not, the safety car will release the pack to give us 2 laps of racing.
Mitch catches up, Mitch might catch up. You never know. I think he's going to push to... Oh, he's...
Yeah, Mitch, if you want to catch the pack, you need to go, buddy. No time for tyre warming. The safety car will go in this lap.
2 more laps of racing here at Baku. F. Lewis controlling the field off this restart. Rob Wills, 6 seconds of penalties. Can he hold a podium here? Can Mr. Rage salvage a result here?
So who's our first attack? JNTX could salvage something huge here.
Look at the energy. Look at the energy as well. They're all quite different. They haven't really had much time on the safety car to save. F. Lewis 68, Rob Wills 75, 83 for Mr. Rage, 80 for Connor Kidd, 83 Mikey, 86 Mirko, 57 for Skarma. So Skarma might be under threat here.
So F-Lewis choosing to stay quite close and run at quite a pace here.
Let's see what he does. I think he wants to get going as quick as he can. And he goes now.
And look at Mr. Rage, he absolutely got a nailer launch on Rob Wills, and he's going to look at the inside. And he gets
Rob
it.
Wills. Oh no, Rob Wills has spun the car, no!
Is he round? No, Rob!
Yeah.
And Matoman's round 2, and there's a Ferrari round. This JN takes the soft tyre. What's happened?
This is insane. Final laps just like Singapore last season.
Connor Kidd's on for the P2, Mikey for the P3. Merkel can get the podium.
Can do anything. Yeah. Skarma's going to be on for P5, Adam P6, but Adam's on these softs, he could possibly just come right through the field here on these medium guys. There's Euro, Nick and Merkel to go wheel to wheel, Chris. Down into turn 7, and I think Euro Nick got through on those softs, really using them.
And what a recovery this would be for Nick after the big moment at the start of the race. He was practically at the tail end of the field for most of the race. A couple of safety car periods and some good overtakes, and he could get himself back inside the top 5. A lot of contenders for driver of the day today, Jensen. So we're about to go on to the last lap. Who wants it the most? Mr. Rage probably knows that the win is not in his bracket here, but Connor Kidd really needs to try and get through Rage now. I think F. Lewis has done what he needs to do.
Rage is still going to push though. I think Rage needs to get through and try and push as much as he can to salvage the best result he can out of this. He's gaining the slipstream on F. Lewis. Is going to go for a move. I don't know if he is. I think he's just going to be careful here.
Oh, but wait, they're all 3 beside him. Mike has been turned around. URL Nip picks up damage. And Connor Kidd's doing P3. Now look, Dixie down up to P6.
Adam can salvage a podium here if he gets up to Mirko. If Mirko gets caught by Adam, that's a podium for Adam.
So F. Lewis just now needs to keep it neat through the last couple of sectors on the track, and he will bring on the win. Mr. Rage is going to fall back. He's not got through, and there's not going to be enough 30% energy. He's going to have to accept fate in the penalties. Connor Kidd recovered all the way back to P2. Remember, Connor started P3, fell to P15, and he's now back to P2 in the race. URL Nick, if he can keep finding some pace in his softs, he could maybe secure a P4. He's 2.1 ahead of Merkel.
Look at Adam. Adam's all over the back of Mirko here. This is a podium potentially. As you look at the gap between Nick and Mirko, or Nick and Adam, it's 3 seconds. Just about, or 2.9. So Adam needs a really good slipstream and final run down the straight to even pick up this podium. So
F. Lewis gets out the last corner. He's going to come through the chicane for the last time. He is on Dixie's done it. He's picked up a penalty on the push, but F. Lewis, he rounds the last kink of the race, and he's going to just push to the line. He is going to bring home the win. He's going to win round 4. Otl Baku, F. Lewis takes the win. Mr. Rage will take the line in P2, but that is going to change massively come the end. Connor Kidd gets to P2, Merko 3, Nick drops to P4, Dixie gets P5, Rage drops to 6, Skarma P7, Mikey 8, JN Tex will bring on P9, Fingers 10, Matoman 11, Rob Wills after that big race drops to P12, Pedro 13, and Mitch P14 in the end. What an absolute stellar ending to that race. It
started raining right at the end, Chris. You can see it falling on the cars there, but I think...
And Dixie gets the driver of the day from the game. I think very well deserved as well.
I think after half a year, finally a winner.
Yeah, that is his first as well.
All new winners, Chris. Over the street circuits, both Elite and OTL, we've had Adam and Lewis in OTL, Ed Brock in Monaco for OTL Elite, so Wednesday could be interesting. Hopefully more new winners for that.
Me! No, I'm kidding. So, I guess we get our guys in for a chat. I don't even have Connor Kidd, have F. Lewis.
I could. try and add them.
F
So
Lewis.
straight away.
Yeah, and your PS5, yeah, you can do that, Jensen, with your fancy system. I can get F Lewis in, and maybe start the questions as well, race winner, while you try and get them in, unless you would like to do some questions today.
You could do it, mate.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, but the biggest hurts today, I guess, Mike will feel hard done by, but then seeing probably his title rival Jamie Enright have that big moment as well, he probably comes away feeling much better over that. Jensen's just left the party by mistake, so I don't think he actually meant to do that. I don't know exactly what he's done that. But yeah, F Lewis joins us on his maiden OTL victory. How does it feel, young man?
Yes.
That was a wild one. It ended. It was very dramatic. Yeah, there was at some points you were 3 abreast getting into turn 1. I think everybody done their best to keep it as clean as possible. It looked a really exciting race to be part of.
Yeah.
You don't know what to say. You're stunned, aren't you? You don't know what to say. Are you happy? You sound happy.
Yes.
Good. Hi. Your emotions throughout that race must have been tense.
I might need to de-sweat my controller. It's like it's been in honey.
I can imagine. I can hear in your voice that you're really you enjoyed that one, didn't you?
No, I did not enjoy that one bit. No.
Now that you've won, you've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, is there anything that really stood out to you personally in the race, or was it just a case of you got the good jump at the start, and from there just keep your head down, stick to your strategy? You knew Baku was going to bring safety cars and bring some twists to the race, so just keep your head down. I guess you've seen the penalties of the guys behind, so once that obviously made you probably relax a bit better, but the guys did look punchy behind you at that last portion of the race.
I was looking at on that last lap. I'm going down to turn 1. I was looking at the red markers, like, please don't show up, please don't show up. I was just waiting for like someone's spitefully just smash into us, but the red marker never arrived, and I'm speechless.
Good. It's always good to finish a race and have no words for that race. I guess that always means it's went pretty well. Before I move on, where do we go next week? What's next week, Jensen?
Canada.
How do you go Canada? It's another track that suits your strengths, I would say, Ethan?
No.
No? Yeah?
No.
You just prefer the big traction zones, nice straight, get out hard and fast?
Yeah.
So, can you get a podium next week?
No. I'm going to do a Pastor Maldonado and never see the podium for the rest of my life again.
Well, so, at least if you don't, you visited it for the win.
I remember, I think it was Russia last season. Jensen asked us, do you think you'll get a win before the end of the season? And I've got the bingo.
That's it. You've done it.
And I'm going to change my name to OTL. Baku is amazing.
Quite right. Enjoy it, young man. Very well done. You showed great maturity at the front of the pack there today. So very well done.
Winner?
You will be, very much so.
Yes.
So there you go. You hold another record.
Woohoo.
Connor, another driver that probably went through a whole load of emotions in that race. You were driving right up at the front. You looked right in contention to keep yourself in the podium contentions. Then you fell back off. You had that big moment, and it put you way down P13, P15, and then a couple of safety cars come. You keep your head down. You brought yourself right back into the race, and here you are in P2.
Yeah, it's class, to be honest. I didn't expect it at all, but sure, I'm here anyway.
Yep. I think OTL's starting to show that there's some guys that maybe on one track they're maybe not as strong, but tracks will come up where some different names can deliver some big results.
Sure.
So I think we're set for quite an exciting season.
Yeah. I didn't expect to be anywhere up here, but some of the safety cars kind of went my way, I guess, and just after the crash at the start, I just had to try to pull it back, and I just managed to. And I saw the penalties of the lads ahead, and I just had to hope that I'd be in range with them.
Which you managed to do.
Yeah.
So very well done. Your first podium in OTL, and I'm sure we'll see you more. You showed good pace today, and I think we'll, as I say, I'm sure you'll visit it again throughout the season. On Canada,
Hopefully.
how do you go next week?
I'm not sure. Just hoping for maybe top 5, top 6. That's maybe not podiums, but around there.
Just keep the results churning in. I think if you keep yourself, the way the results are going, if you keep plugging away at P5s, P6 and above, I think you'll keep yourself in championship contention. So who knows?
For sure.
Very well done. It was a very, very good race. And Merco,
Yo.
got yourself back to a P3. I think you were our lead man that went to the soft compound tyre and done a load of overtaking at the end of that race. Is that right?
No.
Were you a medium guy?
I don't know who it was. I can't remember. It was a Haas.
Did you, in the last safety car for the last 2 laps, were you on the medium tyre, Merco, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, that's really bad. Too much happened. I can't remember. But anyways, P3, did you foresee a podium? I think
No.
you were always sitting about that P5, P6 mark for the race, and for a long time that looked as if where you were going to finish, and then once the safety car came, you just kind of changed into a different driver on that restart, and I guess you maybe seen the penalties and felt, I can get something from this race.
I mean, throughout like the most of the start of the race and like kind of the middle stint of the race, I was completely lost. I was just kind of just driving at that point. Like I knew I wasn't gonna get podium at that point, but then I kind of just stayed in like the points positions as best as I could, and then just out of nowhere, you know, my teammate, something happened between the teammate and the Haas driver, and it's kind of really disappointing because my teammate would have been up here now, but I'm here. I'll take it.
That's it. And the same question to yourself for Canada. Can you seem to be quite consistent through tracks. I think you've settled nicely, so you see yourself getting another good result next week?
I don't know. Canada is a tricky one. It's really good track, but there's a few kind of like places where with the new game it's very easy just to slip off. So
yeah.
I might be on the podium, but I can't guarantee anything.
Quietly confident, I like that. So, very well done to our podium sitters. Jensen, do you have anything for the guys before we wrap up for the evening?
Not too much, as always, just the usual congratulations to all of them, of course, F. Lewis on the win.
Well,
I knew you were going to get it eventually, so yeah.
what
Well
happened to
done on
Mike?
He got a drive through in a 5-second penalty under the safety car, he just gave up.
Ah.
Well,
Because there's some
yeah.
reason. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. What was I going to say there? Yes, before we go, Dixie gets driver of the day from the game. Jensen, we have a very, very tough call on who we believe driver of the day was, because there was so many drivers that I think are very deserving of it for different reasons today. So, you can call it.
Oh, fuck's sake. Mate, I wasn't even here for qualifying, but,
There is no right or wrong answer, it's just
Yeah.
an opinion, I guess.
judging, to be honest, it would be either F. Lewis or... God, I don't even know. I mean, it would have been Rob Wills or one of them until his spin, but I think F. Lewis or Corner Kid deserves it.
Yes, that was the
One of
two
the
names
two.
that I would have went off, so I think it'd be reasonable if you pick either one of them.
Okay,
See what I'm doing there?
F. Lewis,
me,
I think
pick me.
F. Lewis was on,
No
Pass the
pressure.
shopping!
I'm a kid.
I think, considering all things, I think Connor Kidd finally had his breakthrough performance of the season, and picked up his first podium. So I would give it to him. there. I'm sorry if Lewis, it's your first win, but you seem kind of controlled in that race anyway. So
Never
No,
in
this
doubt.
one-
it's like, yeah.
So there it is, Connor gets our OTL Coms driver of the day. OTL will be back on Wednesday with Elite for the same track, and the guys will be back next Monday for Canada. We will see you then, guys.